Do Yeah, so I want to talk to you about something. Well, it's called the reverse squeeze page, right? And there are squeeze pages, and then there's this little sort of little known thing called the reverse squeeze page, or you possibly seen them, not necessarily know, not necessarily known what it was called, what that it was a reverse squeeze page, and it's a way of um, capturing people's leads, but a better audience. So we're often we're driving ads maybe to maybe we're doing an ad of some sort, and quite often you'll send them off to a squeeze page saying, hey, I've got this new a free checklist, who wants my free checklist, right? And if you do click on this button, then they go to a page, and that page will have um not very much text on it, or and maybe I'll sketch out on my iPad if you're interested, for some visuals. I could do that. What do you guys reckon? Should I zoom? I could do that. Um, I'm gonna I'll share my little notepad here in a moment. Hopefully that'll work. So it's just firing up. Right, cool. Hopefully you can see that. If you can see my screen, let me know. Type yes if you can see well, it should be just a white screen right now. There's nothing on it right now. It's just a blank. Um, Let me know if you can see that. Um, we can have an ad or a Facebook post, doesn't matter. And be basically a place where you're telling people about something, and let's call that maybe an ad, or a Facebook post, and we can send them to say, I've got a checklist. There's this really cool thing I know how to do. Do you want it as well? Right. Um, Click on that. Um, and you'll have something very, very simple. It'll be maybe some details about what the thing is, and then you'll have an input field and like like you have a button, right? Which basically says, "See, I've got great artistic skills, don't you think?" So we say yes, whatever. It's a button, and the idea is that you're sort of giving us some kind of curiosity. There's all curiosity driven, and then there's still curiosity on the page. They enter their details, and they're going to eventually go to a confirmation page, right? Which we can have different things on the confirmation page. Often we're going to say, check your email. We tend to not want to put the actual lead magnet on the confirmation page, because a lot of people will just put in a fake email address to get the thing, and that's not really fair. So if we make them work for it, if they put a fake email address in, land on the confirmation page, they'll go, they've sent it me via email. I'm going to have to go back and put my real email address in. So that's the reason why we do that. So you can tell them, check your email. And then the second thing you might say, join my, actually, I'm going to keep that generic. I'm going to say, you say, join my community. Oh, this is really, let me just thin out that, my pen here. So we'll get them we'll invite them to join the community, right? There we go. Community, something like that. And step three might be check out my program, right? So an invitation of some sort. It would be better if I did that, if I wrote that. So like an invitation. So two-step process. So That's a squeeze page. That's like the traditional lead squeeze page, right? This is a lead squeeze funnel. Now, the good thing about that is you're going to get a lot of email addresses. You are going to have a lot of people opting in. Um, and that's the good thing about it. The not so good thing about it is that because they don't actually find out really what the thing is and whether it's really properly relevant to them until they opt in, they may or may not be well qualified for whatever the next thing is that you're eventually wanting to invite them to and sell them to, right? So, because there's often this complaint saying, "Oh, I did a campaign and all the leads were garbage, and all the email addresses were terrible." But I mean, the people were emailing back and asking to unsubscribe because it was relevant, right? So, um, you've got those people. So that is I said the good point is you get a lot of people opting in. Bad the not so good thing is the fact they're not very well qualified. So what can we do with what can we do to have more qualified, warmer audience in our coming through our funnel? We use a reverse squeeze page, right? And the difference is, so you might have a Facebook post that says, "Hey, I'm doing a free training on such and such. I've got a free training on such and such, right?" And so this is going to go really meta now because what I'm going to say is what we're in right now, for example, is kind of a reverse squeeze process. I'll sort of make up a reverse squeeze funnel for you right now. You're in it right now. So I'll say I've done a Facebook post, happens to be in this Facebook group, um, where I'm broadcasting at the moment, and I'll say, you know, um, I'm saying like I want to talk to you about how reverse squeeze pages can get you loads of much better qualified leads, right? And you didn't have to opt in to actually watch this training, did you? Because you're already in this group, you're already on this page, so you didn't have to opt in to see this. Um, you just saw it. You're right here. So no email address has been actually exchanged, right? But if I were to say, let's say I was going to say, I do the training on the reverse squeeze funnel, which I'm still doing right now. And I said, right, listen, I've got a checklist, I'm doing this training and I've walked through the whole reverse squeeze page and I said, look, if you want a checklist on how to do a how to build a reverse squeeze funnel. If you want that, just put your details below and I'll send it to you, right? And I'm doing that halfway through a training. So I know this happens to be a Facebook Live that I'm doing right now, and I can see there's a whole bunch of you watching, which is really nice, awesome. Getting more people on these Facebook Lives, which is so good. It has been a while to get this algorithm up working, so it's lovely. But let me ask you, if you're on Facebook Live right now, would you like a checklist of how to do a reverse squeeze funnel? If you do, type uh type uh type reverse oh no type checklist in the chat. Type checklist in the chat, right? So that's kind of what we're doing. So a reverse squeeze, like you've seen this a lot actually, even on Facebook posts when they say, "Hey, I've got this new process, I've got a checklist, who wants it?" That would be like a lead. That would be more like a lead squeeze when you're not really giving much detail, saying, "I've got this thing," right? Who wants to know who wants to know have my checklist on doing reverse squeeze funnels? But the things that we often see in Facebook posts will be a really long form post going over the process, saying, I've done this, I've got this method, it works really well. Here it is. Step one, you do this. Step two, you do this. Step three, you do this. Step four, you do this. And going through it in full pretty much. And then at the end of the Facebook post saying, I've actually got a full checklist on this. If you want that, just comment below, right? So that's kind of like a reverse squeeze that we see on social media. And I do that a lot. So I actually do a lot of those I do squeezes and reverse squeezes all the time on Facebook. But when we're talking about a funnel, then what we do, so what a reverse squeeze funnel would look like was simply you have the Facebook post, you would send them to a page, and on that page, you have a full video. So, for example, when I'm actually done with this training today, I'm recording this, I'm going to download it and I'm going to put it on a funnel page. I'm actually going to upload it, probably I'll upload it to Vimeo or something like that, right? And I'll upload it. I'll put it on the page. I'll embed it on the page as a video. And if you're watching this on that page right now, I'm going to say, listen, if you want my full checklist, I've got a whole thing tells you what you need to put on your pages, what makes good giveaways and things like that. If you want that, then you can click on the button below, gives your email address, click on the button below, and I'm going to send it to you, right? So it's quite a meta experience, this particular training today, right? So what you do, you have your video, then down here, you would have, again, probably, well, you probably remind them what the thing is, what's the free thing. You ask them for their email, and then you'll put, the submit button, right? Preferably with some sexy text on it, more like, yes, I want you to send that checklist right now to my inbox or something. Anyway, something catchy. You'll put here. And then, of course, we're going to take them again to that confirmation page that says, check your email, join my community, check out my other trainings, whatever. And then you could have a button that takes them to another page, or you could have an offer wall. Like I know KJ does that. She has a page and she's got, well, I've got this recipe and I've got this recipe and I've got this program and I've got this program, and she put a button below each one of them and all that kind of stuff, right? So will you get fewer people opting into this? Yes, you will do. But the people who put their email address in here are much, much more relevant, more qualified, because if you've given them some training, you've spoken to them about it, they're thinking, like I can see myself using that thing. Like how many of you watching this right now think actually I could do a reverse squeeze page that would work really, really well. Like, if you think that'd be really relevant. So I said, well, do you want my checklist? You guys want my checklist. You already typed, a whole bunch of you have already written checklist in the chat, right? So that is pretty much what I wanted to talk to you about today. Just have a think about doing these, coming up with topics that you can record, put them on a page, then put them on your social media saying, hey, I've just recorded a training on XYZ. If you want to see it, and this is a really important thing you have to say during any of the promotional part of it, you say, no opt-in required. You are not required to put your email address in to watch this training. Just go watch it, and you just put the link to the page. And, that's cool. So I don't even have to give my email address to watch this training. They go and watch it, and they submit their details after they hear this very subtle call to action saying, hey, look, I've done the whole spreadsheet of this thing, or I've got this checklist, or I've got this, if you want it, I'll send it to you. No sweat, easy peasy, send it across to me. So that is basically what you can do to get higher qualified leads. So thank you so much for listening to me talk about reverse squeeze pages. I would love to know if you think you'd consider doing that. If you'd consider actually building a reverse squeeze page.